If you watch headlines for long enough, you'll realize that a lot of them very quickly come to fruition. My name is Justice Knight. I can't thank you enough for being here. Before we get started, I want to ask you once again, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. Also, you can find me on Parler, Mayway, all the mainstream social networks for right now, but quickly, again, we all need to move off of them. So please jump over there, but make sure the bell is checked so you're alerted to my upcoming broadcast. You saw over my shoulder an older article. The National Memo published 11 dangerous right-wing kooks, cranks, and operatives surrounding Donald Trump. This back on August 19th of 2016. Now, we're going to come back around to that article, but we're going to go to a much more dangerous one first. This published on The Nation. Everything you think you know about free speech is a lie. How far-right operatives manufactured the crisis of free speech with books, think tanks, and billions of dollars. That's right. They're saying that everything we have thought about the suppression of free speech is simply a ruse. It's a lie made out by those right-wing operatives, far-right operatives. That's only a small portion of the phrases that they're using against you and I. Oh, we're going to go much deeper into the article. It states, over the weekend, a group of neo-Nazis, remember that, and white supremacists, the main talking points of today, marched through Portland. Members of the left-wing group in black clothes showed up to confront them, a.k.a. Antifa. But let's not put that out right away. Shh, we got to protect our boys. Hundreds of non-masked counter-protesters came too, along with 700 police officers. The police far outnumbered both the Nazis and mass groups. You see, this appears to me at the offset a very good use of free speech because they have the right to call a group Nazis that aren't Nazis. But we're going to continue. They spent most of the day protecting the white supremacists. Back to white supremacists now. Ushering them around the city and even over a bridge closed to pedestrians. Now, I love the fact that they referenced an article. You can see the hyperlink there. So we're going to go to the article that they're referencing on the Portland Mercury blogtown. As protests spread along waterfront and across bridges, Portland police mostly managed to keep the protesters apart. Antifa and the Proud Boys is what they're discussing. Now, the article that they referenced in their article saying that the entire free speech argument is a ruse has some amazing pictures in it, like, I am anti-fascist. Look at the anger in this woman's face. Look at the hatred. Look at the villainous or nothing. That's called a peaceful protester. But we're going to move forward because they also reference this picture. Joe Gibson in his element. You just go down in the feedback on Joe Gibson, one of the members of the Proud Boys, and it says they should send him the bill for all of this. His element is behind bars. And normally this type of thing would be against your conditions of release, going to his court case for inciting an alleged riot. There you go. Gibson charged with felony riot. You read down in the article. The timing of the arrest came one day. They arrested him one day before the protest that this article is referencing. The August 17th rally in Portland that was 100% peaceful. Now remember that. The Proud Boys incited no violence for themselves. It was 100% peaceful on their side. But unfortunately, the same article they referenced also showed this. Now, I'm going to have to bleep out a lot of this, but I need you to understand the level of protest, alleged protest, that this article is protecting. Watch for a moment.
He's got a hammer! Hey, no hammers! Oh, shit!
Okay, we're going to stop there. One of the protesters threw a hammer into the Proud Boys bus. This is going to become, I'm going to frame all this up for you because, and again, although I don't agree with all the tactics of the Proud Boys, they have a right to peaceful assembly, which this article actually attempts to attack. Now, remembering that the Southern Poverty Law Center has deemed the Proud Boys, rank and file Proud Boys and leaders regularly spout white nationalist memes and maintain affiliations with known extremists. They are known for anti-Muslim and misogynistic rhetoric. Proud Boys have appeared alongside other hate groups at extremist gatherings like the Unite for Right rally in Charlottesville. Southern Poverty Law Center coined them. They're actually being sued now by Gavin McInnes, saying, "How dare you call me something I'm not?" And rightfully so. Again, Gavin could say some things that would turn you on edge, but he has the right to say that. Now, we're going to move forward a little bit further. Everyone like this one happened like clockwork these days. A small number of Nazis protest somewhere. Again, referring to the Proud Boys, usually under the guise of freely expressing their opinions, and the police protect them under a mandate of upholding the First Amendment. By bolstering the narrative that speech should be protected at all costs, the police perhaps unwittingly help smuggle white supremacist thought, policy, and action into the American mainstream. Conservatives and many liberals, on their part, lambash Antifa for not respecting free speech. Trump even tweeted that Antifa might be considered a terrorist organization for interrupting the supposed rights of white supremacists to march, again referring to the Proud Boys, remembering the hammer being thrown into the bus of the Proud Boys by the Antifa protesters. So when Trump tweeted major consideration is being given to naming Antifa an organization of terror, he was absolutely right. You see in print, you see in video what actually happened. But yet this article is trying to weave the web of deception around you so you don't see the actual facts that are occurring. I've been disheartened to see not only conservatives and fascists, but also liberals criticizing those who protest against the free speech rights of the most vile groups in America. The New York Times op-ed pages, really every paper's op-ed pages, have been filled with liberals warning that young leftists and progressive activists are pushing America towards fascism. They are. But this article is saying they're not. Published on thenation.com in a section called The Right. Well, yes, because we are right. Articles everywhere. The Shut It Down Left and the War on the Liberal Mind. In recent days, Howard Dean argued, pundit and provocateur Ann Coulter, whose speech was threatened with cancellation by Berkeley administrators, that hate speech is not protected by the First Amendment. In actuality, it is. Calling for inciting violence is not. But yet you saw violence by Antifa in that clip. So going back and just stepping into the title, everything you think you know about free speech is a lie. No, it's actually not. This article, remember where we started, 11 dangerous right-wing kooks, cranks, and operatives? This back almost 3 years ago? Well, it's kind of funny because when you thumb down, you got Stephen Bannon of Breitbart News named as one of these crooks. Roger Stone, look what happened to him. Alex Jones, banned completely. This might as well have been the hit list for the left of who to silence immediately. And there is Ann Coulter, the exact same person referenced again nowadays. You see, everything has continued. Pamela Geller, Milo Yiannopoulos, Pat Buchanan. It's almost like walking through a graveyard of voices that have been silenced, that have been tortured. It was there the whole time, and they have not relented. Their argument usually harkens back to an often misattributed quote. I disapprove of what you say, but I defend to the death your right to say it. If the quote is 100% perfect in its reference or not, I stand by the words. I don't care who said it or who wrote it. What does that matter? Let's start with the letter of the law. Nothing in the First Amendment prevents citizens, members of Antifa or otherwise, from interrupting someone's protest. No, actually, it does protect very clearly the right of the people peacefully to assemble. That's pretty clear to me. Congress shall make. Maybe we should read it over because it appears a lot of people have forgotten the words. The First Amendment, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. They're claiming that only meant that Congress can't pass laws. No, that meant that people have the right to peacefully assemble. And the law enforcement officials that protect that right are upholding the Constitution. But this article's saying that they are wrong. Most leftists I talk to do not wish that the government would ban Nazi speech. No, they absolutely do wish that that speech be banned. What they're classifying as Nazi, white supremacist, white nationalist, hate speech. As governments in Germany and France have. Exactly why we're fighting back against it. Instead, they wish that police departments would not spend vast amount of resources protecting Nazis. You see how they continue to throw? And they're saying that we have the hate speech. But yet they've thrown the word Nazi in this article, I believe it's upwards of 32 times. That's hate. That's dissension. That's cowardice. When the First Amendment is invoked by the Portland police and other government officials, they're simply misinterpreting the law or reinterpreting it to be extremely broad in a way that becomes acceptably largely thanks to decades of work on the part of right-wing think tanks. Because it became now acceptable. Because it is acceptable. Like our right to bear arms, the right to free speech, there's no gray area in those statements. But yet the left, if we want to throw terms out there, the elites, the NWO, whatever you want to say, has done everything they can in their power to gray up this argument. The other problem with the state's defense of Nazis, there it is again, right to free speech, is that it belies the fact that the state is itself suppressing speech in countless ways every day because the attack is real. Vice, here's how big far-right social network Gab has actually become, guess what, larger. It's grown because people value free speech. Gab has experienced a huge growth spurt in the first half of 2019, a worrying sign of the spread of hateful ideologies and radicalization online. Oh my gosh, wait now. Free speech is growing, but immediately they have to call it hateful. So no matter how we grow as a group, no matter how much we protect the Constitution, they are going to up the rhetoric until they break. And when they break, we have to be ready. And that's such a big warning to you. Developer-focused email service Mailgun bans Gab after 3 years of business. The mail system, because once Gab started growing, guess what? Everybody bails out. You're protecting free speech? Peace. We're out of here. How dare you protect the Constitution? Is YouTube discriminating against both conservatives and LGBT videos? 2 lawsuits say yes. Because there is discrimination. We'll continue. James O'Keefe, who brought out all the whistleblowers on Google, suddenly is being bashed because he loves QAnon, which we talked about in yesterday's article. Accused Zionist of running for government because he can't possibly be a normal American citizen. No, we have to dig up all the trash. We have to destroy them like we do every conservative voice. Because if we can't get them banned, and oh my gosh, they're actually gaining information on us, we must discredit them immediately. But we can't protect our own airwaves. Because China uses Twitter and Facebook to share disinformation about Hong Kong. This is on NPR, National Public Radio. I love the figure that they state. Twitter said it's week. It has suspended nearly 1,000 accounts it believes are tied to Chinese state actors. No, it's not 1,000 accounts. It was 200,000 accounts. You are going to ban all voices in America. Scuttle all conservative viewpoints. Silence the masses. Silence the truth. But you can't control a foreign actor coming into your platform and completely spreading fake news on the Hong Kong protest. But you're going to be my judge, jury, and executioner. That the most ludicrous thing I've heard in a long time is everything you think you know about free speech is a lie. This is how deep they'll dig, how much deceit they'll show, how much lies they'll perpetrate to confuse every issue when suddenly something happens in America that shows you and I agree. The majority of us agree, folks. That's the big secret they want hidden because they're worried if we figure that out, their scam is up. Guess what? We figured it out. Now, how do we change it? We start getting ourselves elected in the office. People ask me all the time, and you'll see that now. You see Laura Loomer running. You see other figures running. We need free speech and constitutional advocates running for positions all the way down from city to state to federal. That's how we change things. We put ourselves into positions of power to assure that we don't allow these continual mistakes to repeat. I'll continue to preach it from the rooftops. That's where my specialty is. There's somebody out there, somebody watching this video right now, who's been considering, what can I do? And you may be a much better politician than me. It's time for you to get on the ballot. It's time for you to run and not get corrupted by the machine that is trying at all cost to destroy America. I want to thank you each for tuning in. My name is Justice Knight. I can't thank you enough for being here. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Make sure the bell is checked. Godspeed and God bless. So much more to come. Keep the comments coming. Keep the thumbs up. And please help me share this because, you know, these messages, they won't help share in any way. Till next time. Love you all. Thank you so much for being here.